それでも前に進むの振り返らずにWe gotta go誰もが奪われることを恐れて先に奪うことをやめないから冷酷な世界順応するために心を止めて感覚を消そうとしてる夜の海に光るキャロまるで声なき叫びのように暖かさを探して風を呼んで波を裂き夢にしわもくなず痛みさえも超えた果てに何があるかもしれない心力強さの分優しくもありたくていつだって引き裂かれる想い抱きしめながらそれでも前に進むの奪われた山振りかざす正しさは完璧でも陰で悲しむ誰かがいると知る頃には悲しみは怒りへと広げたはずの両手は死ぬのを握っていた心を映し出すなら侵入した価値観のせ赤く点滅している星の座標占う場所憧れは遠いやつちぎれそうな嵐の先何があるかもしれない負けたくない倒れないでも傷つけたくはないいつだって引き裂かれる想いと共にいるよそれでも前に進むの奪われた山抑えた感情はいつか自由で磨かれた時がいやもうどに変わる風を呼んで波を裂き夢にしはむくらず痛みさえも超えた果てに何があるかもしれない心力強さの分優しくもありたくていつだって引き裂かれる想い抱きしめながらそれでも前に進むの奪われた矢の振り返らずに
Hello everyone, my name is NoPatanon and I write games for fun. So what are we working on today? Well, today we're going to be working on Deep Blue Girls, or a Deep Blue Girls, a Waifucore game, and it's definitely gonna be a thing. Am I confident in it? Absolutely not, because this game is gonna be really fucked. Uh, to 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 start off the stream, I'll just. Ooh. Let's get inebriated. Fuck it. This is some boxer lager. This is some like cheap ghetto shit, and I'm in. It's pretty good. 50 cents a can. Fuck yeah. Wouldn't drink it all the time, but it's fine. I got a few alcoholic beverages to drown my worries with. So what's the actual plan for today? Well, as you see, I have our title card, which are all literally just Kaga, you know, the aircraft carrier Kaga. And I got the preface done, and I actually discovered this little bit right here, actually. The first Boat Girls were actually from a guy in Taiwan back in 2009, when the first official quote-unquote Boat Girls were a thing, though we've been personifying those fucking things for years, apparently. I've seen some as early as 37, and as early as... the earliest one I've seen, like hand-drawn, like this is a girl who happens to be a boat, is like 1803 or something. It was a fucking British battleship that was a bit top heavy, and it's like, damn. See, anime girls. And I've also learned about the drama between Warship Girls and Kantai Collection. Fuck it. So these are what the main things that we have to do. We have to do how to play, we have to do character creation, shore leave, sorties, and armaments. Shore leave is going to be literally everything that isn't combat, and sorties is going to be combat. The one thing I'm having kind of a debate on whether or not I want to put armaments here or here. Both of them have good reason, because character creation is mostly about getting the right equipment, kind of determining what equipment you get right off the bat. So it's kind of like I can see it going either way as something valuable. And today I'm going to be trying to be as entertaining as possible to get as much clips. What's the system going to be? Purely system-wise, purely mechanical. Well, let me just go up to Miro. Purely mechanically speaking, it is going to be, and don't laugh when I say it, a roll and keep dice pool system. Now, normally that sounds like, well, no shit, aren't most dice pools roll and keep? These ones are going to be a little bit different. So, the idea is you roll your set of dice depending on your traits, and you only keep a certain amount depending on your approaches, which are pretty much like your attributes. Yeah. Miro's been a lifesaver for me, and we don't look up here. Don't look up there. It's bad. But I love Miro. I shill it all the time when I can. Miro, please sponsor me. But that is kind of the idea behind things. But the problem is you only keep amount of dice up to your approach. So if you have an approach of 2, that means you might be rolling 8 dice, but you're only going to keep 2 of them. So at max, you're going to be scoring like maybe 4 successes out of this huge amount. But if you have a really high dice pool, but a really low amount of dice to actually roll for it, you can roll like lower quality dice for it. Maybe not get as many successes as you would want, but have more options. That is the intent. The opposite side of that, I did commit to the idea of an opposed check, which usually you can say like a threshold of 5. You need to roll a 5 or higher to get a success. What I would do is 5 or higher opposed check. So you would roll all your dice, same as normal, but you have to get 5 or less. Kind of you're going against the attribute. You still have to collect all those dice. So if you have a thing of 5, you have to collect your 5 highest dice, which may be like, well, I failed at this check, and now I'm going to kind of succumb to this approach. I'm not going to want to learn the new thing because I'm really traditional. I'm going to rush into the fight real fast because I have high combat. It's that idea. Does it work in practice? Somewhat. I'm a little bit worried when it comes to actual, like, fighting, because of the nature of the dice pools. And half of me wants to do a guaranteed action. If I fire my cannons, you're going to get hit by them if I'm within range. If I am able to hit you with them, you're going to get hit by them. It'd be a little bit more awkward, and I'm going to have to do something like that for torpedoes, because torpedoes are a nightmare. Fun fact. Oh, give me 1 second, I gotta fix my hair real fast. But so far, what we need to do, we're pretty much going to be trying to get this done today. I want to write everything there, and then when we're done with that, we will start moving on to character creation. Will my character creation get fully done? Not quite, because I don't know how I want to handle this. Because these are all of the options you're going to be able to get to build your perfect waifu, I guess. But yeah, here's all these. I went over these last time. I'm not entirely sure about the power level scaling yet. I don't know about it. That's going to be something that's going to need tweaking. Hardcore tweaking as we go through this. But that is going to be our basics. Here, armaments. We're also drinking tonight, because I like drinking. So, Deep Blue Girls uses... Which way I should do is put it in here. Deep Girl uses the Waifucore system, which is a roll and keep, which is roll and keep. Can't actually no, we have to refer to them as what they are. The ship girls. This is gonna be unfun, because instead of characters I have to use ship girls the entire time. Or would it be one word? I gotta look at the semantics. This can't I click JTRPG save me. Question. Would it be space girl or ship girl? Ship who is in fact a girl, or girl who is in fact a ship? Yeah, this doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's going to be the difference. Like, yeah, you're like, half of me wants to say, like, half of me wants this, because the nature of this system is that you're going to be able, yeah, I'm gonna have to probably do that. The idea is that you can do this. X girl, and it's gun girls, Roman Legion girls, car girls, you know, etc. It's like, that's the entire idea of the system, is that you can sub it out for whatever you want. But actually, SGs. iPhone. See, there's probably some like term I'm missing. Oh, that's not a good sign. We're being weebs now. Okay. This is why we consult. This is why we consult the weebs. Kanmusu? What the fuck is Kanmusu? Now I'm curious. This was... Fleet girls, Kanmusus. I guess that would be correct. Kanmusu. It'd be a bitch to understand. Oh no. Oh no. This is one of those situations where it comes down to like the English language is a beautiful thing in the disaster area. So the ship girl SGs have an approach in trait. Have an approach in traits. The approach dictates. Actually, we just want to do the SG's traits determine how many dice are being rolled, while their approach dictates how many of the top dice are kept. Approach and kept. The goal of each roll is to score a number of hits. A hit is score a number of hits, and to score a hit, the SG must roll over the. We'll call it the threshold for now. I'm not entirely sold on the name yet. The threshold of the check. So if we want to do this correctly, we got to insert table 2 by 2. So we want to do. So we scroll right there. So this would be threshold value threshold actually would be difficulty threshold. Threshold of a check. Actually, how fuck? You pinged me. Why are you pinging me all of a sudden? Oh. Goal each roll the score since hard to how do I want to do this? Okay. No, we want to do comma when a SG is taking it. So when an SG takes an action that requires their skill, that requires skill and a chance of failure. The SG must make a check. Check has the character roll their dice. Actually, a check is composed of the threshold. How difficult the threshold, symbolizing the difficulty. Threshold. Check is composed of threshold and what would we want to call it? Not difficulty. It would be complexity. That's what it is. Complexity. The threshold is the value needed on the dice to successfully score a hit. On the threshold is the value needed or greater. Actually, the threshold is the value that the dice has to be equal to or higher to successfully score a hit. If a character rolls double the threshold, doubles the threshold, they will score 2 hits. That's where some of the like more intricate nature of the kind of game will come in. Like, let's say, for example, like if we're rolling d6s, actually, let's say we're rolling d8s, and I have a threshold of 4. Like, cool, if I roll an 8 on my d8, I want to be scoring 2 hits. But if I'm only rolling d6s in that check as well, I can't score an 8. But I can still score a 4 or higher, though. It's gonna be a little harder, but I can do it. So that's where kind of the idea of like subbing out dice comes in, and kind of the value there. So the character rolls double the threshold, they will score 2 hits. Actually, we'll do footnote. Rolling at 8 when the threshold is 4. It'll score 2 hits. So we can do this. The complexity is the number of hits, capitalized hits required for the SG to successfully pass the check. Most checks will only require a single hit to pass. Most checks will only require a single hit to pass. But rolling more is always good. It actually might be. That might play into another interesting idea. Require a single hit to pass, but rolling more hits will. But rolling more hits means the task is completed even more successfully. Now, more hits on certain things is going to mean a lot more than others. I need to climb out, I'm racing someone. I score 1 more hit, like I barely won. Scoring 5 hits on that person is I fucking won. Like I cleared house. That's kind of the idea there. It also is going to play into combat a little bit more, because scoring more hits is going to mean you're obviously going to be doing more damage. Single hit to pass. Rolling more hits means the task is completed even more successfully. Even better. Whether it's faster, harder, or being able to assist their allies. Every roll will also have the gotcha die. A d20 rolled with every check, we should say. Not damage, right? This checks. Every check will also have the gotcha die. A d20 rolled in addition, which is not counted toward success, toward hits. It is however, if it lands on a 1 or 20, a fumble or crit occurs. A fumble is a disaster. Something has gone wrong or made things more difficult. While a crit, what did I use the word crit for it for? Let's check the Waifucore prelims. Waifucore prelims. No, it's operation malfunction. That's it. A malfunction. Actually, a malfunction or operation occurs, or critical operation. Actually, no, we'll call this a critical. I think that, or critical occurs. A malfunction is a disaster. Something has gone wrong, made things more difficult. While a critical is disaster being mitigated, or a massive success from the jaws of failure, or a massive success. These can occur on any check. Criticals can occur on failed checks, mitigating. How do we use term mitigate? Lessening disaster, lessening problems, and malfunctions during successes to complicate matters further. So you pretty much have a 5% chance either direction to have something good happen or something bad happen. Because it's gotcha. Because I fucking feel like it. Because I'm an evil person. And you can manipulate this dice to do other things. To complicate things further. Actually, no, we just want to complicate victory. The idea is a malfunction during a success is I successfully picked the lock, however, my lock is broken. Something bad has happened. I've shot my guns and I've scored a big hit. I've hit, however, one of my guns fried itself. Something is wrong. I need to fix that. It kind of do a field repair almost. Disaster. I'm in need of help. I need a medic bag. Don't watch it too much Payday 2. While kind of a critical during a failed check is, oh well, I've failed to win something. I've failed to hit. However, everyone kind of like, don't worry, I failed to hit. However, I reload instantly. I already predicted that, like, the arc isn't right. I got to reload already. You're reloading just when you fix it up. Or, hey, I failed getting out of the way, but I got hit and it wasn't that bad. It's little things like that. Not exactly a fail forward mechanic. It's more of a fail mitigation mechanic. It's like, you fucked up. You still failed the check. However, it's not as bad as what it looked like. Even down to things like, yeah, you could re-roll again. Like, you have that ample opportunity. Will you succeed? Who knows? But you might be able to. So we want to do difficulty threshold. And then we actually want to column to the right. We want to add complexity. Now, if we do something like easy, threshold is going to be something like 3. And the complexity is going to be... complexity is going to be 1. Actually, what would be the average? We just want to do average difficulty. This is where things get complicated. Okay, let's do average difficulty of 4. Complexity of 1. And we want to do row above. We want to do an easy check, difficulty a threshold of 2, complexity of 1. Like, most checks are going to be complexity 1. Actually, we can totally do something like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, that works. So this would be threshold 3. This would be actually easy, simple. Like, 2 isn't really going to be a factor for the higher power levels, because higher power levels, you're going to be rolling things like D12s. Because you're going to be rolling higher tier dice, you don't need to worry that much about lower tier checks. You're not making average checks with D12s because you can potentially score 3 times over. Which actually I should rewrite that section. Rolls double the threshold. Character rolls double the threshold, rolling an 8 on. They score 2 hits. This also accounts for triple checks. or triple the value. Or triple the value. So we want to do 2 footnotes here. We want to do a footnote right here. Rolling 8. Comma. And then we want to do triple the value. So we want to do insert footnote. Rolling a 12 when the threshold is 4. You're only going to be really rolling a 12 on the higher tiers, but when you get things like here, like a simple check, you can score a lot of complexity. Something simple but really complex kind of has something interesting for it. Like, hey, we're doing repairs. The complexity might be something like 9, but it's also really simple to do. It's going to take time. Ow, foot. Single hit to pat. Actually, we can do something like that. Being able to start out allies. Long-term checks. Long-term checks may have the SGs whittle slowly chip away at a large complexity project. At a large 10 plus, large 10 plus complexity project. A project they are undertaking. There we go. I usually forget about, like, spread out checks. I do that because I never use them. I personally do not like using them because usually when people use them, it's for, like, crafting or some shit. So every check will also have the gotcha die, a d20 rolled in addition, which is not counted toward hits. However, if it lands one true, a malfunction or critical occurs. It's a disaster. Criticals can... criticals during failed checks. Always capitalize that. Disaster. Any checks. Criticals during... Actually, during failures. Lessens the problem. Lessens the problem. Criticals during failures lessen the problem. Malfunctions during successes to complicate. And malfunctions during successes to complicate victory. Okay. All right. What am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, the rest of these. So we want to do that. Now, until Google implements a system where I can just put this off to the side, which is something that still baffles my mind, that is not a thing currently in Google Google Docs. Actually, I wonder, is that a thing? Google Docs let's see, Google Docs fill around table. Ah, yes. The suggestion is make it an image. Wow, thanks. I would have never thought of this clever ploy. God damn it, Google's. Let's see. So we want to do hard. We'll do... what would be after hard? No, we want to do... complicated. No. It'd be simple, easy, average. Complex. No, we already use complexity. I usually like putting hard. Oh, I know. Difficult, hard, and then what's I know we'll put a heroic. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 3. So technically you can mix and match. You can use like a simple threshold complex. Let's see, actually. most actually checks are notated as TXCY. Threshold X, complexity Y. So your check might look something like an average check may look something like T4C1. Like that is a full check. Like the threshold is 4, you need one success. Little bit jank, but it should work for notational purposes. And sometimes that's the most important part. So, okay, we've successfully completed how to roll dice. Now we have to do character creation. I'm not even done with my first beer yet. Ship girl construction. Now, what I'm going to do in between, depending on if there even is an in between, which there is going to be because I'm not insane, is I'm going to put like a section of lore in the middle here to like, this is the justification. Actually, we don't need to do ship girl construction. We need to put in power levels. Power level. Actually, yeah, no, we need to put in power level first. So, power level. We'll do power levels and world state. So, power levels. This is what we fucking Dragon Ball Z already. Which I have actually been requested to take a look at a DBZ game, which I'm not entirely sure on because it's a little bit jank. So, power levels. Actually, power level. So we want to do. This is where things get complicated. Because one of the big things about this is that I need to accommodate a lot of different ideas. This is where the power level system comes into play. And we need to determine what the world state looks like. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get down to business. At the core of Deep Blue Girls. Deep Blue Girls is the power level system. A method for the actually wait a second, I forgot. We'll keep actually the game requires an admiral, 3 to 4, 3 to 5, 3 to 5. Goddamn F key. 5 player, 3 to 5 ship girls, and an afternoon. So requires an admiral, 3 to 5. Okay. Because you always gotta remember to put the name of what the actual GM is. Sometimes I don't do that. So, at the core, Deep Blue Girls is power level system, a method for the admiral to determine the overall strength and ability of the ship girls, and their enemies. Power levels are ranked from 1 to 5, with 1 from 1 to 5. 1 is considered to be roughly human in strength, with additional abilities given to them by their ship's soul. While 5 has the ship girls become walking demigods of the 7 seas, battling it out for the fate of the world. So this is the best way to kind of summarize power levels is how much girl is there, how much girl is in ship girl. The higher your power level, the more ship you are. The more lower your power level, the more girl you are. This is going to apply to this has to apply to everything, which makes things a little bit complicated. Now, the way I kind of ranked it is that PL2 is about Kantai collection, roughly speaking. PL4 is about Azur Lane. I know nothing about Warship Girls, so it's somewhere. But these are our kind of 2 major power levels right here. Because Kantai collection isn't actually that impressive. Maybe that's not the right word. But if we take a look at like just basic, Kantai collection, let's just do the Akagi, for example. Not Akagi death. We all know the Akagi fucking dies. Like, for example, this is the Akagi. That aircraft carrier. This is her. As you can see, she's actually not that impressive overall. She's fairly drab, and her big thing is that she can launch planes from her bow. Now, let's just change the franchise up a little bit. Let's go to Azur Lane Akagi. Oh, wow! It's a fucking big titty fox waifu who controls the literal power of flame. Alright, fuck it. Oh no. I'm going to jail. Why? This is the shit I have to deal with. Oh, God, I am going to hell. This is the shit I have to deal with in these streams. Like, this is kind of the idea of, like, Azur Lane is way higher power levels when you're dealing with things like, this is the literal embodiment of a fucking super ship, and she's flying around. I mean, Kaga's a little bit better, because she summons, like, a giant fucking fire wolf out of nowhere during the anime of Azur Lane. Who knows? Makes no sense. We're in Clown Town. Now, if we go to Warship Girls, Akagi is kind of like a mixture of both, but Warship Girls is kind of like, the Chinese knockoff of Kantai collection. I mean, I like some like, what the fuck, but same idea. Not nearly as kind of like insane looking as others, and that's on purpose. Yeah, everyone's sad. Everyone cry now. But that's power levels are kind of a meme in this one in ship girl logic, because there's only so much you can do with a literal aircraft carrier. Hence, Kaga-chan, aircraft carrier Kaga-chan is officially best girl, because she is technically about 500 tons of metric steel. Being like, it's like, in a fight, I'm gonna believe in the literal warship, can probably beat you if she hit you. Welcome to the madness that I have to deal with. Well, people are complaining about 5e again in my Discord. Alright, let's crack open beer number 2. Yeah, triggered a loop on that. Okay, so let's get down to business. So, Seven Seas battling out for the fate of the world. The power levels determine much about the ship girls trait. Ship girls approaches. Capitalize ship girls approaches. Traits and even dice rolled during checks. Yeah, so what do we start with? Actually, let's start with dice. So what we need to do is if we paste this here, there's probably a nicer way we can make this work. However, I don't know what that is, so we're not going to do it. And I think I fucked something up. So actually, we want to... Okay, now I'm paranoid. So I don't know why it does that in particular. Actually, here's what... Let's do a little bit. Tools 0.5 and then remove space before paragraph, remove space after paragraph. There we go. Deal 1. So I can probably make this a little bit cleaner, but what I'm going to do now, just to get it kind of on paper more than anything, is right now that's kind of the core thing. Whoa. God, it's hot already. Okay, we got this. So that means we have to do dice, and then we have to do the number of traits. Now, you may be seeing like the numbers after that. Do not worry about those. Those aren't technically real. And what I mean by that is every ship girl is going to get a class which is going to contribute to a number of pretty much like free traits. And that's kind of what that is since it technically you're getting 5, 8, 8, 9, 9 traits. Actually it'd be 3, it'd be 7, 7, 6, 6, 5. If I can do my fucking math right. Hello, Haas, again. You keep showing up, but then you keep leaving. I don't know who you are, or what you want. But thank you for following for 5 seconds, and then leaving. I don't know why you're here, but shine on, Crazy Diamond. Wherever you may go. I hope to see you on that eternal place. the number of traits, which bring me to the number of trait points. So if we do self-ship, actually it'd be self-soul traits, self-soul. Yeah, this just needs to be me to clean up this section, but I need to get it on here. So this is what you determine. So let's say I'm getting pinged again. Who keeps pinging me? Who are you people, and what do you want? Pending. Okay, sure. Hi, Majork. You Finnish person, I think. Shine on you person. You man thing. Here's what I should do. Here is 1. So power level determines much about the ship girl's purchase traits and dice roll during checks. So the dice roll. We can probably give these a better name. We can call them probably something like power dice. Power dice. So let's say, for example, I'm gonna try to base the game around PL3. So PL3, we're gonna be rolling D8s. That's gonna be our power dice. We're going to have 8 points among our approaches. We're going to have 5 self traits, 3 ship traits, and we're going to have 12 points distributed among our 12 points distributed among ourselves, and 14 to distribute among our soul. Okay, so that works. So if the numbers are accurate, what we should be able to do is when we go here, we can do heading 1, ship girl construction. Construction and creation. So we already determined our power levels. Let's see if we can do some fun formatting. So columns, can we do 2 by 2 by 2 columns? Yes, we can do 2 by 2 columns. Perfect. And we have all the space down here to work with later. We'll get regulated tables, because tables save lives. Okay, so we've done with ship. Okay, we have to do ship girl creation. Ship girl. The SGs. The SGs are girls who have been blessed. Souls of ancient battle. The souls of ancient battleships. The ancient warships. Ancient worlds reflecting their history as well as their desires in the world. While the stories may change, the girls still continue to fight for what they believe in. For what they believe in. They'll still continue to fight for what they believe in. After the shadow level has been chosen, if I can fucking spell, the players are able to choose choose how to create their ship girl. Their ship girl. Fuck. After the power level has been chosen, the ship girls are assigned a series of points. Assigned a series of approaches, traits and abilities. To flesh themselves out and create their ideal self. So what we need to do is we need to address what the approaches are. Approach. An approach is how a ship girl chooses to address and approach a situation. These are their innate traits, innate abilities, and stay with them until they are sunk. Actually, these are their innate abilities, and how many dice they are able to roll. How many dice they are able to keep during a check. If they were to take, if I can actually fucking spell, to take critical damage. Yeah, critical damage. Then their approaches will be reduced as well. Will be reduced. Forcing a desperate situation to get worse. A ship girl is composed of three approaches: combat, tradition, and heart. Technically, it should be heart tradition, if I remember. Yeah, it would be heart, tradition, and tradition. Even though I'm still not entirely sold on the fucking karma tradition. I want you open right now, Steam. Alright, so that should be composed of three approaches: combat, heart, tradition. So we want to do combat. Do we want to make these? How does heading 3 work? I don't think I'm going to go with a heading on this one. I think I'm going to bold it. And I'm going to increase the font to 15. I'm going to pull a gamer move and reset that down to like that. And luckily, combat representing how skilled a combatant the ship girl is, representing both her fighting spirit on and off the seas. Ship girls will call upon their combat when they are in opposition to someone. When they are in opposition to someone, or want to show off their strength, or show off their strength. Ship girls who are low in combat are quiet and take their time, focusing more on the precision than the application, than the brute force. Ship girls who are high in combat are hot-headed, quick to anger, and able to demonstrate their martial prowess with ease. Yeah, combat, it's like one of those words that, like, I know what I want to do with combat. I don't know how I want to, like, word combat necessarily. The heart. Represent how passionate and kind the ship girl is, allowing her to touch the hearts of those around her. Ship girls will use their heart when conversing with others, helping one another out, or simply putting others before themselves. Ship girls who are low in heart tend to be lone wolves, wanting to do things by themselves, to have either anxiety or dislike of others. Ship girls with high heart are bleeding hearts, throwing themselves 110% at any and all dangers to their ally, to themselves, throwing them at 110% at any danger affecting their allies, as well as being able to convince others with ease. So you don't want to use at ease. Convince others to do as they wish. Effectively, someone with a really high heart is someone who is going to sacrifice themselves for no reason. They are the ones who break before anything else, and they kind of know it. And you need to look out for people with really high heart, because they are going to do something. They are going to throw themselves away, even if they don't necessarily, well, even if they shouldn't. That's kind of their tragedy. Their biggest issue is that they have to face. Finally, tradition. Oh wow, we do not have a lot of space, so we can probably put this on the next page. Tradition. How graceful and skilled the ship girl is at controlling her surroundings. Girls tap into their tradition when they are performing great feats of dexterity, precision, and their own innate and their own innate talents. Ship girls with low tradition. With low tradition are a bit clumsy, not quite finding their place in the world. Their place in the world yet, but eager to try new things. Ship girls with high tradition are stubborn, stuck in their ways. Actually, are stubborn and stuck in their ways. A ship. Fuck. Okay. We want to make the. Woo. Ship girls with high tradition are stubborn and stuck in their ways, able to tap into stuff in their ways, but those ways are practiced and well known and executed masterfully by her. I'm not 100% on these. I know what I want them to do. I know how I want them to work. But doing it's a little bit more complex than that. If it was as easy as saying, yes, this works, then it would be pretty easy, but it's not. So, do we put classes here? I think we should put classes here. So what we do is go back to the notepad documents. Ship girl classes. Each class, actually, the ship girls, actually the SGs each have the soul of a ship inside of them, allowing them to adopt their power to confront the enemy for them. While each girl is unique, while each girl is unique, the ship class she embodies is something specific, is defined by my traditional roles. These classes of ships help define the ship girl, helps define her before she even begins her journey into the deep blue. So we're going to be playing this pretty simple because I'm not literally insane. I am not what they would like to refer to as literally bananas. So what we want to do is so sorted A to Z. I don't want everyone to be fucking aircraft carriers. Not everyone can be a Kagi. Sorry, everybody. Like, that's not just a thing. You need destroyers. But luckily, these actually kind of fall into some very basic class archetypes. Mostly when you have the idea of aircraft carriers are utility, the battleships are your traditional warriors. Cruisers are kind of fulfill the warrior, but more tanky role, more warrior tank role, and destroyers are your rogues. These ones are going to get behind the enemy and blow them up. Cruisers are going to be able to tank pretty good. Battleships are going to go real fucking fast and hit like a fucking truck. And aircraft carriers don't actually have that much actual defensive capabilities outside of the fact that they can summon planes, which is a very valuable thing, and you should totally summon planes, because planes are cool. Okay, so aircraft carrier, battleships. Technically, I'm like simplifying this down like really hard, because if we go to even like the, you know, Azur Lane ship classes, like there are a lot of ships if you can't quite, yeah, if you can't quite get the grasp, but there's a few different kinds of fucking ships in this beautiful world of ours. Like, let's group by type. Actually, no, let's go back. We just want ships. Ship types. Nope. I clicked the wrong thing. I hit the tier list. I don't care about the tier list. Want that. So these are all the technical types of ships available in Azur Lane anyway. You have destroyers, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, large cruisers, monitors, battle cruisers, battleships, light aircraft carriers, repair ships, munition ships, and submarines. Now, what gets a little bit complicated, light cruisers are cruisers that are light. Heavy cruisers are heavy. Large cruisers just have a lot of shit on them. Monitors are technically like early class cruisers, as just as well as battle cruisers are technically early battleships. Certain aircraft carriers are different than that. Then you have like repair ships and munition ships, which are somewhat different than other things. This is even going to like hand coal ship types, which has its own. This has its own assortment of things, and all of these are their own, you know, kamikaze class. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, you have destroyer escorts, destroyer light cruisers, torpedo cruisers, heavy cruisers, aviation cruisers, battleships, aviation battleships, light aircraft carrier, regular aircraft carrier, armored aircraft carrier, submarine aircraft carrier, submarine seaplane tenders, submarine tenders, fleet oiler, amphibious assault ships, repair ships, training cruisers. Like, all of these have different things associated with them, and all of them have purpose. Like, that's the beautiful disaster here, is that all of these have a reason for being here, and every single one of them is a different kind of ship that you have to worry about. And there's multiple Congo classes, but we got to make sure it's the right Congo class. And then it's like, oh, okay, this isn't too bad. There's not that much. Wow, there's more, everyone. There's just more. Like, what the fuck is going on here? It's just more. We got more ships. They're all girls in swimsuits. I am going to jail. Yelma Marconi. Of course, the Italian is a lolly. Oh, jeez. Why are there so many lollies? Good God. Yeah, like amphibious assault ships. Like, I'm not gonna fucking deal with the number of goddamn assault ships there are. I'm not dealing with trading cruisers. I'm not gonna deal with fucking Akashi class repair ships. I can't deal with all of those. You're getting 4. You get aircraft carriers, you get battleships, you get cruisers and destroyers. Those are what you get. You get nothing else. You may be saying, no, that isn't fair. I want to be a repair ship. Well, you don't want to be a repair ship. You say you do, but you don't. But if there's requests, I might put it in the bucket. So, returning begins the deep blue. Each class of ship. One second up. Bump that up. Each class of ship. All I've had is like a sandwich today, but it's a really heavy sandwich, so I'm like trying to dilute my body with alcohol right now. A little bit lighter than I was thinking. It was like, oh, it's Oktoberfest. I was thinking it'd be a little bit heavier, but it's not really. Huh. What a shame. So, give me 1 second. It's pitch black in my room right now. I need to... Let me just... Oh, God damn it. Notepad, please, you fat ass. Woo! I'm alive. Fucking glasses are on sideways now. Let me just fix that real fast. So, effectively what a class is going to give you, it's going to give you about 3 traits. Those 3 traits are going to help define what your initial kind of set of things are. And when you get your initial set of things, you can kind of determine how you want to build your character. So, aircraft carriers. How do we want to define an aircraft carrier? Rulers of the sea. So, rulers of the sea. Aircraft carriers. Aircraft carriers house hundreds of planes that can fight on their behalf. That can fight on their behalf. As well as provide support to their allies by their side. Being the linchpin in most operations. Aircraft carriers are often heavily supported by their escorts and other. Let's see. Our aircraft carriers are often heavily supported by their escorts and other ships to make sure that they are protected. While also serving a command role. It also grants a set of soul traits. Each class of ship also grants to understand their role on the battlefield, as well as the options laid before them. So, what do aircraft carriers get? Well, they're going to get heavy armor. That's going to be one thing they're going to get, because aircraft carriers, actually, are aircraft carriers pretty armed? Like, aircraft carrier heavy armor. So aircraft carriers have. So we want to do aircraft carrier. Let's do cruiser armor. Yes, a fucking gunboat. Now, this is why boats are a bitch. Like this is the beautiful thing, and why boats are a pain in the fucking ass to deal with. Because this is classified as a large cruiser, 29,000 tons. Actually, almost 30,000 tons of displacement. This is a large cruiser. Heavy cruiser. The Prinz Eugene. Admiral Hipper class. Heavy cruise, 16,700 tons of displacement. And then you get things like and then you get things the very far bottom, where it's like light cruisers and armored cruisers, who are all different, mind you. Every single one of these are fucking different, and like sometimes the designations get a little bit weird. So heavy cruisers are pretty heavy armored. So we want to do, what's an Admiral Hipper ship look like? What's armor? We're looking at 2.8. All right, so you're a little bit more heavy. Let's just call it heavy armor. We'll keep things simple. So let's see, heavy armor. So heavy armor, heavy armor, light guns. So we want to do, it would be flight deck. Yeah. Your flight deck. Actually, we don't need light guns. We'll sub that. Actually, no, we want light guns. That, and then we're going to do speed 2. Actually, speed 2. Yeah. Speed 2, deck 4, because you can put 4 guns on your deck. Let's actually do Enterprise aircraft carrier. Enterprise doesn't even have any guns. Carriers have guns. Short range defensive last line defense against enemy missiles and aircrafts. So you don't really have any guns. You have no defensive guns. Deck 2, like you have a really small deck, but you have this. This is where things get interesting, is the fact you have the flight deck. Deck 2, let's see. Speed 2, deck 2. and then heavy armor, and then with heavy armor you have to determine how much actual like health, how much exterior health you would have. But those are going to be your basic traits. You have access to light guns. You have your flight deck. What would be another? What would be a good trait? Okay. Yeah, so flight deck, that's going to be your gimmick, pretty much. You have pretty decent heavy armor, you have light guns. And flight deck. Okay. Battleship. Like, for them. In addition, class of ship. Class of ship determines the speed the ship girl has by default, as well as the amount of deck space for weapons that for exterior guns. We'll call it exterior guns they possess. Actually, let's see. Class of ship determines the speed the ship girl has by default, the amount of tonnage they are allowed to carry, and the amount of they are allowed to have on their deck. Okay. Speed 2, let's say speed 2, tonnage X. I don't know how I want to handle tonnage yet. Half of me wants to just do it like a flat X value. Like, here's just a flat value, you can carry this much shit on you. On the other hand, I don't want to really do that. I have a feeling that'll be a bad idea. Okay. Okay. So, battleship. Battleships are heavy hitters of the fleet. Moving fast enough to close the distance and unleash a barrage of firepower on unsuspecting enemies. Battleships are prized capital ships as well, commanding a certain amount of respect and power over others. This does lead to hubris, however. This does lead to hubris in some cases. So, what are your things going to be? Well, you're going to have medium armor. We're going to have heavy guns. So what's your gimmick? Your gimmick will be, actually, we'll call it deck size. And we actually want to do battleship. Battleships, wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm seeing a few. Seeing 4 goods there. 4 guns there. We'll do HMS Hood Ship Girl. Just double check with her. You're dealing with about 4 guns. Yeah, you're dealing with about 4 major guns. Yeah, okay. So deck size would be it. What we can do is we can give her a firepower one, just increase base damage. I think that would be okay with battleships. That's their unique thing, is having firepower. So they're just hitting harder. Yeah, that's fair. Pretty much what you're sacrificing in the ability to, survive in some cases, you are trading in for the fact that you are a massive, horrifying death machine that can kill everything. And then we want to do speed. We want these to be a little bit we want these to be faster than aircraft carriers. So we'll call these at speed 3, 4. We'll call these at speed 4. Cruisers will be speed 3. Destroyers will be speed 6. Destroyers can fucking yeet themselves if need be. Tonnage, of course, is going to be X because I don't have a good number for that yet. And if we don't address it, we don't have to deal with it, right? Right. Deck, we're going to give that a deck of... I'm going to say a deck of 3 right now. Actually, no, we're going to do deck 2, and you are going to be deck 0. You got to buy your deck if you want guns on your aircraft carrier. If you have a little shitty aircraft carrier, you're not going to have you're not going to have any guns. That's like just not going to be a thing. So you need to buy your deck if you want big deck, but you also get flights. You get a flight deck, which means you're going to get boats. Not boats. You're going to get planes. Planes are important. Battleships are prize capital ships as well, commanding certain respective power over others. It says lead hubris in some cases. Medium guns, heavy guns, firepower, speed 4, tonnage X, deck 2. Cool. So, cruisers. So, what's a cruise? What is a cruiser? So we want to do Azur Lane. We'll do Azur Lane ship. We'll do Azur Lane cruisers. Why am I referencing Azur Lane so much? I'm referencing Azur Lane a lot because Azur Lane has the advantage of having a lot of fucking options. Anti-Collection has very few options in that regard, while this one does have quite a few to kind of work with in a few cases. So it's like, all right, we have things like the Atlanta. Like, we have options to work with, and that's really powerful. Sometimes just having options is important. Okay, that's beer number 3. And this was a great fucking idea. So we want to do destroyer guns, torpedoes, AA guns, like cruiser guns. Joan of Arc class. Cruisers. Brooklyn. Hello, Brooklyn. No, you are a light cruiser. I don't need light cruiser. I need heavy cruisers. Nope, that's not right either. Light cruisers, heavy cruisers. Hello, Deutschland. Jesus, lady, you are fucking evil as fuck looking. Okay. Hololive class. Wait a second. Hey, look, everyone. It's a VTuber. Woo! VTubers. God. It's kicking in now. Maybe drinking 4 beers in rapid succession isn't the best idea in the world. Don't be an alcoholic, kids. It's not worth it. It's never worth it. New Orleans, the Astoria. Limited. Okay, heavy cruiser, type of cruiser, long range and high speed, generally armed naval gun, long range, high speed. 1922 in London Naval Treaty in 1930. Heavy hitters of the escort fleet. Fuck. God damn it. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Cruisers are weird because they're not technically like heavy hitters. Then that's why I hate dealing with boats. I distinctly remember this back when I was working on Hearts of Darkness. When I was working on Hearts of Darkness, I was like, I'm going to add in boats. But I was like, oh, wow, look. Boats have literally no sense of right or wrong. Because there's so many exceptions to each boat. And since there's so many exceptions to each boat, it's hard to get a good idea. So okay, here's what we'll do with cruisers. We're going to give cruisers the idea that they're heavily armored and they're kind of more tanky, but not as much tanky as battleships. In exchange for firepower, they're going to get something called durability. Durability is just going to give them a flat amount of health. That's all it's going to give them. It is literally just going to be a flat section of health that they are going to be able to get for free, effectively. That'll be the cruiser specific thing. If they want to invest heavily into it, they're going to be real tanky. If they don't want to invest heavily into it, they're not going to be as tanky, but they're still going to have that little bit more oomph to actually work with things. I think that's a fair compromise. Is it a perfect compromise? Absolutely not. But we're not looking for a perfect compromise now, are we? All right. Okay. So if we're working with that, how do we want to handle that? Okay. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right. So cruisers. Our cruisers going to be a thing. They're going to be really slow though. So cruisers. The shield. Cruisers operate as the in-between of battleships and destroyers. And destroy. And raw firepower. For more defensive options. In exchange, they are I really gotta assign that a hotkey. I wonder if I can do that right now. I'll click on new properties. No, I'm going to assign you a hotkey to the stream, actually. I think that's important. Exchange. They are trading raw firepower for more defensive options. In exchange, they are slower than most, but have the sheer number of options available to them to accommodate additional gear or battlefield roles. So effectively, cruisers are exchanging their ability to do things, for heavy armor, big guns. Actually, it would be a heavy gun. It would be heavy armor. It would be, we'll call them heavy guns. I think that's appropriate. Heavy guns, and we'll give them durability. In exchange, they have to deal with speed 3, tonnage X, and deck size of 2. Actually, deck size of 1. The lower deck size, that means they can't put as many guns on themselves. Now, if we look at destroyers, actually, destroyers don't actually have that many. Woo! I'm alive. No more beers for tonight, though. Ooh. The thing is that I can actually feel it now because I drank them so quickly and haven't really anything in my gut except a few. Let me see. I want to encourage people to invest more into their deck, though. Is having a higher deck important? Maybe. I don't know. If we want to invest in deck, what are you going to be rolling deck for? You're going to be rolling deck for bigger attacks because you're going to be focusing more of your guns on things. If we want to do that, fuck me. This fucking game is going to be the fucking death of me because holy shit. Okay, so let's take a look at things from a different angle, alright? Okay. We want people to invest in deck. We don't want people to invest in deck too heavily, however. Because investing in deck too heavily means you're not going to have the material needed to actually do damage. So instead, you're going to be investing more heavily into... How are you going to be doing that? You're going to be investing heavily into things, but let's take a step back. Let's take one step back, a noticeable step. Do we need more guns? Well, yes and no. Well, optimally speaking, your deck isn't going to do anything. You still have to purchase those guns with the limited amount of points you're going to be having. The amount of tonnage, probably. Yeah, we can probably just do it with tonnage. Tonnage will be a good cost factor. No. We can't use tonnage. Unless we tie it behind tiers, like tier 1 through 5. And then have people being oh, well, I want a tier 5 gun. Well, you're going to have to invest into your guns to do that. And they're usually a little bit weirder guns. Okay, so we have that. We can just invest in tonnage. With the idea of tonnage being the factor that's going to be kind of the linchpin in builds. So we're going to have destroyers be really fast, really light. They're going to be maneuvering real fast. Okay. Alright, cool. Let's do it. Fuck it. Woo! I can feel it now, Mr. Krabs. Oh, people are posting shit. Cool. I like when people post. Oh, no, hit the wrong button there. Oh no, Mr. Notepad. Don't do that. Click buttons you're not supposed to. So we use tonnage as a cost. That should work in theory. Destroyers are going to be a little bit awkward because you're going to be in just the wrong amount of space. Actually, like, keep you light. So if we want to do destroyers, that, excuse me, maneuverable. Fast and maneuverable. Are both the Vanguard. Positioning themselves in key locations to assist with defending heavy battle with defending battleships and aircraft carriers from harm. However, with their speed comes a distinct lack of armor. A price they have to pay. Okay, the price they have to pay for. With the idea being like, oh, I have just like a lot less armor to work with. So because you're going to be working with less armor, you're going to be moving a little bit faster. Okay, positioning themselves. Come on. Themselves. We're not going to deal with any he's in here. Come on, this is ship girls. We're not dealing with men here. We're going to do light guns, light armor, and we're going to actually put you with, we need 3 per. What's a good thing for destroyers? So we have, let's see, we have flight deck for aircraft carriers, we have firepower for battleships, we have durability for cruisers. What is engine? Maybe engine might work. An early engine. I think early engine would be really beneficial for them because they can invest heavily into their engine to move fucking fast. So you're going to have a speed of 5. You're going to have a tonnage of X because I don't quite know how I want to do the tonnage yet. You're going to have a deck of 1. You're going to have the same deck as a cruiser. However, you're going to have the ability to kind of invest heavily into that deck idea. So you can have just like a single gun that's going to hit like a fucking freight train, or you're going to invest more heavily into multiple guns, which you can then shoot all at once. Because you are a destroyer, and your entire goal is to not die. So, shipbuilder creation, we have this, and then we have our approaches. Before I pass out from rampant alcoholism, I'm going to sub out here. We want to do traits. Traits. So how do we want to describe traits? So, God, why do I keep clicking on things I shouldn't? Okay. Traits. Okay. Oh god. Come on. Come on, Mr. Notepad. We can do this. Traits. Traits are the ship girl's method of expressing herself in the world, split between herself, and soul, representing split between herself and soul. Self traits are actually no, we don't want to do this. How do we want to do this? Actually, okay, self traits are reflective of her personality, goals, and general demeanor, allowing her to influence others and determine her determine her lot in life, and determine her course in her own civilian life. Soul traits are tied to the ship. Are tied to the ship she is bound to. Representing its trials, tribulations, features to create a cohesive fighting unit. The ship girl. Phone, what do you want? Hello, phone. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Remember to hydrate. She says, "Ooh, I'm hydrated all right with fucking alcohol, and I feel great. I feel alive, and I am slowly succumbing to it." So the ship girl. Actually, let's see. Soul traits are tied to the ship she's bound to, representing its trials, tribulations, and features to create a cohesive fighting unit. The ship girl has a number of these traits. Equal to the power level. We want to actually capitalize traits equal to the power level. From there, in addition to her class's traits. Let's see, ship girl's number of these traits equal to her power level. In addition to her traits, the ASG then assigns a number of points, to each of these traits, representing their connection to it, representing their expression of it. The higher the expression of it, up to 5. Up to 5, 5, up to 5. This also represents the amount of dice rolled when the trait is called for. The amount of power dice. Also represents the amount of power dice. We want to actually remember the proper terms. Power dice rolled when the trait is called for. Multiple trait. Actually, we want to do traits from both categories can be called in certain situations. Asserting dominance as an aircraft carrier. Is easy. It's easier than asserting and then enforcing the will as destroyer, while being able to aim a bow, while being able to fight in hand-to-hand combat. Combat isn't really covered by naval doctrine. Oh, isn't really covered by naval doctrine. So we want to get the idea that pretty much traits kind of fall into a lot of different things, and that you can use your self traits. You can use your self traits for combat just as much as you can use your ship girl traits, your your soul traits for non-combat applications. So even having things like, oh, well, I have this, I am a battleship, and I have all these different things on top of myself. That means something. Heavy armor doesn't necessarily always mean I have heavy armor. It means that you're kind of armored from the world around you. You're kind of defending yourself. So yeah, you can. Alright, soul and self. Just to make sure that this goes away, I'm going to do soul and self. So let's do. So we want to do actually insert table 2x2. We want to put you in there. Control 8. Control Shift 8. Control Shift 8. There we go. It's happening, Mr. Krabs, and I don't like it. We want to do not add space. Oh god, I'm hitting all the remove space before this list. Okay, so we want to do insert row above. Self traits. Why are you this way? Why are you doing this? Please stop everything you are doing. Why? Add space, custom spacing. 0, 0 apply. There we go. And then we want to do soul traits. We want to look here, so we paste everything here, but we don't want this anymore. Oh. Ship class isn't really a thing. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to Control Shift 8. We're going to hit this. We're going to do custom spacing 0, 0. And then we're going to add on sword paragraph, not Z to A to Z. God damn it. A to Z. Armor, steering, health, engines, hangars, more planes, autocannons, light gun. We don't need you, but that's pretty much what's going to anti-aircraft guns going to be. Luck, naval guns, tonnage. Actually, we're going to call this displacement. So snap my back into place. So, okay, so if we have this idea, what am I missing? Naval guns, anti-aircraft guns, hangars, more planes. Actually, well, we can add in the other one, so it would be durability, firepower. But it's the idea that you have to pay for that. You're paying for this. So let's do a sample character real quick. We want to do power level 3. We're gonna make a sample character. All right, we want to make a sample character, and we want to do Greek battle. We'll do Greek battleships in World War II. We like Greek battleships, right? We like the Greek battleships. 1919. We want to do the we want to do the Lemnos. We'll do the Lemnos. Ship style action durable World War 1. Greece pro German mock. So the Lemnos. So we want to do PO3, the battleship Lemnos. So we want to do the battleship Lemnos. We don't want you. We want you to go away now. So power level 3. What does that mean? We're rolling d8s. 2. We have 8 points on our approaches, so we have 8 points approaches. And we have 5-3. We have 5 self traits and 3 soul traits. And that also means we have 12 points to distribute among our self traits, and we have 14 points to distribute among our soul traits. All right, so battleship Lemnos. Let's read about the Lemnos, shall we? So the Lemnos. Battle of Lemnos struck the crucial engagement First Balkan War. Main battery of 4 12-inch guns. All right, that's important. Powerful vessels in the Greek fleet. So she was originally American. Barracks ship. Training duties. All right, so she's had a pretty normal life. Not exactly complex, but we like non-complex ships. Ship girls. So ship girls class. She is a battleship actually. So initially, since she is in fact a battleship, she is going to have her basic traits of medium armor, heavy guns, and firepower. And she's going to have speed 4, tonnage X. We don't know how to do tonnage yet. We're going to ignore it. And a deck of 2. So we're going to have to expand that deck out quite a bit. We already know that. So since she is a battleship, battleship Lemnos, Lemnos Chan. So combat. Let's determine what her combat. She's a combat, heart, and tradition. Well, combat, she didn't do that much. Let's give her a little bit there. I think she would have a decent amount there. We'll make her gap moe and pretty fucking useless at everything else. So we want to do something like 3-3-2. I think that looks pretty good. She's pretty average across the board. She doesn't have the dexterity of others, but she doesn't really need to. She's kawaii as fuck. So that brings us to our traits. So we have 5 self traits. So we want to do, these are going to be our soul traits. So our self traits, let's think of, actually, I know, Gap Moe is going to be one. She's going to be Moe as fuck. She's going to be, that's going to be her personality. It's going to be Gap Moe, because we like that, because that's adorable. We'll give her a hobbyist. We'll give her hobbyist historian. I think we should also give her a history. What's a good history? Allied intervention, Greco-Turkish, that's a minute. Actually, history, survivalist, because she actually survived Stuka bombers. That's pretty poggers, I do say so myself. So, and then also let's do, well, first off, I think we should do allegiance. I think allegiance is important. We'll do allegiance. We'll do allegiance. Greece, she's Greek. And I think we should also do personality. Americana, because she's originally an American ship. So she's kind of has this weird, like, Greco-American personality. She loves her Greek food, but she's also the kind of person to immediately, do gun-toting Americana. But don't worry, she's Gap Moe. That's the point. Her soul traits, however, we need a little bit more of her soul traits. So, well, I think luck is going to be important. Like, we just need luck. We're going to need to expand her deck a little bit, so we're going to do her deck. We're going to give her extra deck space, because we find that important. What else are we looking for? I think we're going to do naval guns, honestly, because she's not that durable. So, and how many points do we get to distribute among all of these? 12 to self. So, Gap Moe is going to be important. We're going to put that at 3. Hobbyist, historian, 2, 2, 2, and 2, so that would be 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. I think we can bump up Americana and Greek up. Actually, let's bump Americana up by 1, and we will bump her historian up by another 1. There we go. And now her soul traits. We have 14 traits to distribute among her, so I think we're going to keep luck at 0. Deck we have to increase by 2 because we want that. We want naval guns by 4 because we want heavy naval guns. We just want more points to be able to spend on heavy guns. I think 2 there, so that's 2, 4, 8. Firepower I think is 2, and medium armor we can probably 2. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, we got 2 more points. Let's do heavy guns 3 and expand out her armor a little bit. So there we go. We got our... So she's pretty well armored. She's pretty good guns. Like, overall, she has rank 3 heavy guns, so she can slap on some heavy ones. She's got good firepower, and she's got a lot of points to be able to spend on her naval guns. Like, she's being able to fucking shoot those things pretty damn good. She's really good on that. Her speed's pretty average. Her tonnage is pretty that, and she has a deck now of 4 because of her deck increase. So she can slap 4 guns on herself, and she's doing pretty alright. Alright, we made a character, everybody. Good job, everyone. We made the Greek battleship Lemnos. So, with this, I think character creation is in a good space. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to probably fix things up later, and I'm going to die a little on the inside, because I drank a lot of beer very quickly. So, I'm going to call it here for today. We're going to be working on... Probably it's going to be Flesh Mech Annihilator tomorrow, because I want to get Flesh Mech Annihilator at least in a good space as of right now, because we're doing pretty good now, and I get to announce the results of the poll, so we're doing pretty all right. So with the announcement of the poll and all that, we should be Gucci. So, looking here, we'll continue this on Monday. Once on Monday, the goal is we're going to see if we can't pretty much fix up the entirety of character creation, make sure everything works there, and then we're going to be working almost entirely... Why is that here? we're going to be working almost entirely on out of combat and combat scenarios. Out of combat's probably going to be the priority, though, because we need to make sure that people feel invested in their characters, and we need to make sure that they work. So, but we did a lot today, so thank you very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Godspeed, good luck, and I'm going